just getting back to the bin site here. I've been in the truck all morning, pretty much all week, really. So I've been hauling to the ethanol plant all week, and I actually had a few more loads to do today, but they're right full, so I was told not to come back until tomorrow morning. Squeeze a couple in tomorrow morning. I already did 2 dumps today, and I'll see if I can do 1 or 2 tomorrow morning. So I'm at the bin site here, gonna get preloaded for tomorrow. Have the rotary screen set up in front of the auger, so I gotta clean up that mess before I leave today too. I loaded a couple times without shoveling, so got quite a pile of broken corn and bees wings and dust here. When I was getting loaded up with my last load, I started sucking air, so I'm gonna have to start opening up some of the side doors and eventually turn the bin sweep on too. So we'll start up the Ford, let that warm up, and then we'll go start up the 4320, get that fired up to clean up my mess. It'll be nice when the grain bins are finally empty. We can take this home and service it and clean it up. It's been dirty since September, so. By the time I get down to the sweep, I'll probably be pretty much full, so I don't think I'll have to really get in there and shovel or anything today, but truck is full now. I had to turn on the sweep for a short moment, but luckily I didn't have to really get in there and shovel or anything just yet. These two bins here are basically set up the same. It's probably got the newest sweep and stuff out of all the bins we have, but I don't like these ones the most probably. They're too aggressive. The sweep will push it into the pile faster than it can suck it up out of the gate there on the auger below me. That and these sweeps here ride really high compared to some of the other ones we have. I heard of guys putting like a mud flap or something on the bottom of them so you don't have to shovel or sweep up as much and it'll stay within the auger. But as you can see there, it just kept wanting to dig into the pile faster than it can take it away. So then starts building up and then the motor gets hot and the motor will want to shut off. Eventually I think we're gonna have to do something different with these two bins. I'm gonna clean up my mess, tarp up the truck, tarp this up. I should be back here tomorrow, and tomorrow's gonna be a little bit longer loading, obviously, to run the sweep and everything. Another reason why it's good that I didn't really have to jump in there today is that these bins are a bit older than the bins at the house. They have bolts that lock the door shut. You need an 1.1/8, I believe, wrench to unbolt these, and I don't have one with me. I should have had one with me. I didn't even think about it when I got in the truck this morning, but either that or we should just have one here at the farm. There's an assortment of wrenches, but not that much. For the most part, me or dad have the tool truck in the area or here with us, and we can have everything we need right off the truck and no problem. But every once in a while, I'm by myself or dad's by himself and kind of run into these situations. I would like to eventually get an assortment of tools here at the shed, but like I said, 9 times out of 10 we can just grab whatever we need off the tool truck and it's no problem. But I'm by myself right now, and yeah, it'd be nice to have some wrenches in the pole barn here. So I think eventually I'm gonna try to do something about that. So I just made it back to the shop. I'm gonna be getting the Challenger 945C out, and I'm gonna be getting this inside the heated shop. It really doesn't need much. We'll go through it really quick. It's already had an oil change and everything kind of back in like September when we're still using it quite a bit from tiling, and it needed an oil change really bad, so we just did it in the driveway. And yeah, that part's already done, so it kind of just needs a detail, and we'll throw some grease at it. And I think there's a sensor or two that needs to be replaced. When you put this thing in park, it'll sit there beeping at you inside the cab saying that it's not in park, and it'll yell at you. So the parking brake itself works fine, but the sensor needs to be replaced. I'm not sure where that's at on the tractor. Then we can get this out of here, free up some real estate in the machine shed. This takes up a lot of space, and go through it, get it ready for work again, and hopefully in a few weeks some of the fields will start to dry out and we might be able to consider putting this back to work before spring planting. Nice and warm out today, too nice for February. It's a little over 45 degrees. Even saw it, one sign said like 48. Cab could use a detail, it looks like, and I think I'm gonna end up switching the Trimble here to our side-by-side, our little Yamaha Rhino, and we're gonna go survey some fields so that way when it's time to actually put this to work, the fields will be mapped and ready. Well, that doesn't sound too good. Looks like we're gonna have to get this jump started. Well, after I got this in the barn, I spent some time in the other shed shuffling other machinery around. So a little time has passed by now, but I'm ready to start picking on this a little bit. First things first, just rip this out of here. One of us will get this vacuumed out really nice and swept out. I'm gonna move the Trimble over to the side-by-side so that way it's ready to go for surveying. So I got this switched over here. Just sits on a little ram ball mount. I was kind of skeptical of this. I always thought it was gonna break loose or fall off when you're driving through the field, but knock on wood, I haven't had any issues of this really coming loose or falling or anything. It's locked on there pretty nice. If I ever to lose anything hitting a pretty big bump or something stupid, it would probably be the antenna for the RTK. It sits up here on the roof, the magnet mount. Usually we just keep it back here until we're in the field ready to use it, so it doesn't blow off on the road or whatever trailer we're using or hit the roof of the van trailer. I guess I'm gonna start polishing this, putting wax or some type of cleaner on the hood. On camera it looks good already, but it's pretty faded of what it's supposed to be, and yeah, start cleaning up the paint on this. Probably set the camera down because that's kind of boring, and I tend to film quite a bit of waxing and polishing equipment. So I typically pull some of the mufflers off the tractors every other year or every couple years and touch them up. This one's not quite there yet, so maybe I'll wait another season to pull this off. This one is pretty heavy. It's a handful, especially if you're by yourself, but even with two guys, I'm pretty sure it's a bear to move. So So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I just got loaded up with number 4 for today. I called the ethanol plant, make sure that they are gonna be able to take this. So they said just bring it. So I'm gonna head over there. I typically do about 3 a day. That was the normal schedule anyways, but this is good because I can come back here after I dump this one and get preloaded with number 5, I guess, for tomorrow morning. And then I really only have 2 left tomorrow, so get preloaded for 1 and then come back here probably around 9 o'clock-ish and get my last one for the week. The sweep is just about around the room now. We typically shovel and use a broom behind the sweep auger and kind of clean up after it as it goes around the room, where the two bins that are identical that I'm in right now. The way those sweep augers are set up, like I said, they ride a little bit higher, so a little more shoveling involved. I'm by myself running in and out of the bin. I won't be able to keep up with it, so we typically let those two bins just let it do its thing, run around the room, and then once it does that, we'll come back, shovel all the grain away from the wall, turn it on again, and just sweep it up kind of afterwards. So I'm gonna go get this one dumped, and then when I get back, have a little bit of work to do. Gonna shovel out that bin and get it all cleaned out, and then I'm gonna have to move to the other bin to top off for my load for tomorrow morning. Back at the farm now. Gonna get the tarp pumped up and start shoveling out that bin, get it cleaned out, and then gotta move everything over to that bin. Almost done. Don't recommend doing it this way if you can help it. Sweep up this little bit here, closer towards in the middle. Turn this on again, and then there'll just be a little bit here left, probably to sweep up. So this bin is empty, all nice and clean now. A lot of times we'll come back and vacuum up what's ever left in the corners, around the edge and stuff. I'm gonna move everything over to the other bin, top off the truck. I'm going to make sure, close my gates here. Gotta make sure to keep out the ROUSs.
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they exist.
Setting up on this bin, I kind of have to set it just right. I can't have it square with the auger there, otherwise it'll be sticking out and the truck will be in the field trying to load, and that's no good. especially this time of year. Light could go out. This is probably the worst one to load out of when you're running the rotary screen. It's no issue if you just run the auger, but the driveway is pretty narrow here. Well, after all that, finally loaded. A couple hours later, cleaned up my mess the best I could and tarped up the rotary screen. There's chances of rain tonight, but the day is already pretty much over with. Sun's starting to go down. I think I'm gonna go home and crack open an ice cold pop. And yeah, I think this is gonna do it for this video. So if you made it to the end, thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.